Good evening. It is Tuesday, April the 23rd, about 9:30 p.m. This is iKitesurf meteorologist Shay Gibson bringing you a preliminary wind and weather forecast for the annual Fort to Battery 2019 race across the harbor. This is going to be powered by Force Kite and Wake and hosted by the James Island Yacht Club. Let me go ahead and minimize myself here, show you the Force Kite and Wake website. If we go to the Fort to Battery tab and go to more info, this is where you can find all the information you need about the race. They're also on Facebook, Fort to Battery. You can look them up there as well. Here's the event schedule. Friday, April the 26th, we're having a skippers meeting at 6 o'clock p.m. where Stan Radev and others will go over the logistics of the race, how to get into place, what boats are going to be there, and then I'll be giving a final wind and weather report as well for that for this event. There'll be a food truck afterwards. Saturday's the main race at 2 o'clock p.m. Once that's over, there'll be an after party with barbecue, and I think there's some beer specials down in the details down below. But Sunday is Foil Mania for any of you who choose to stick around for Sunday at 11 o'clock a.m. So go to Force Kite and Wake to check all of this out in the James Island Yacht Club here. Let's go ahead and talk about the weather. Now, one thing we have going on Friday, it's going to be kind of a messy Friday as low pressure comes across the Gulf states and swings a cold front through our region. You can see the moisture here building out ahead of it. So Friday looks kind of messy as we get into Friday night. And one thing that we're looking at is this area of high pressure that's driving down. We have a ridge building down from the northern tier and centralizing over Texas. This is going to be heading to the east-northeast towards North Carolina. And what that's going to do is it's going to switch winds overnight Friday night into Saturday morning from the north initially. And so what we're looking at here in the early morning hours is a northerly pulse. Now, the track of this high is going to matter because in the past years where we've seen a really strong east-northeast build over the area, that high is usually sitting up here and it's really ramping into the coastline. But with this high sort of lingering over the southeast and maybe toggling up here, maybe jogging down over us by Saturday afternoon, it looks like things may break down. It's really uncertain at this point. The next couple of days go by, we'll be able to tag that down just a little bit more. But as we go into, this is Saturday morning at 8 o'clock a.m. where the winds are actually starting to change to the northeast. We get a moderate flow off of that. The central high pressure is still well off to the northwest. And so we get a moderate northeast flow. But that may break down through the day as the GFS is hinting that this high may jog a little bit further south over us, which means the winds will continue to clock over from the northeast all the way around to the east or even southeast by the time the race starts. So we're really hoping that that east-northeast wedge holds in place by the start of the race. If we look at the Euro, and this is for early Saturday morning, and you can sort of see the indention of the high pressure right here, where the air is kind of going out away from it. And this is what the Euro is showing, is that northerly pulse early morning. As we get into Saturday afternoon, it shows that high directly over us. So that could be problematic where it shuts off the winds a little bit and gets winds down maybe even below 10 knots. And this is not exact, things can change, but we're hoping that that high will stay a little bit to the north. Now if we look at the GFS spread by Saturday, about 4 o'clock a.m. we're right here. We can see that north-northeast flow building, and you see 14 to 16 knots here along the coastline. And as we go a little further into time, we see that high pressure right out here over the Appalachians, over the tail end of the Appalachians, and we're going to watch that very closely to see if it heads a little further north or if it heads towards us. Right here, by near the race time, we see that high pressure just along the North Carolina-South Carolina border, and the winds are going to be lightening up because of where the center is to that. So we do think that the winds are going to clock over to the east at some point. But what kind of gradient is going to be there to keep the winds up towards into maybe the low to mid-teens? That's what we're hoping at least we can get. It's a difficult call right now to say exactly what's going to happen. We can take a look at the iKitesurf map, and I want to use this Schutz's Folly sensor. This is the new sensor to the Charleston area. I'm going to blow that up just a little bit and go out in time to Saturday. Now, not all the high resolution models are capturing any of this yet, so we're still on the low resolution models. But as we go into Saturday, we see a lot of agreement early Saturday morning for this northeast flow, at least for the models that are running right now. We have the Canadian GFS and the WaveWatch 3 models reporting in on this for northeast flow. Pretty moderate. They usually underestimate the wind, so we can probably pin about mid-teens by 9, 10 o'clock a.m. And as the day goes on, once we start getting to midday to early afternoon, this is where we think winds may start to switch more east, and they may fall off a little bit. So if we can hold that east-northeast wind along the coast that we have seen before, we get sort of that backdoor sea breezing effect, we might be able to be looking at low to mid-teens by the time the race starts. So still a lot to change between now and then. We'll keep an eye on it. Sea surface temperatures right now right around 70 degrees. We may even get to about 72 or 73 by the time Saturday rolls around. We're expecting some pretty high temperatures on Thursday. Hopefully that rain that rolls through Friday won't cool it down any. You can also go to the Chucktown Wind Report. I usually do daily updates here as I can, but this is the local page for the Charleston area where a lot of the kiteboarders go. And also feel free to go to Forest Kite and Wake, check out the event. And that's going to be it for this round. I'll be back on tomorrow night and possibly Thursday night to give an update. And then I'll see you all at the Skippers meeting either way, Friday night, 6 o'clock p.m. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.